learning the plays, the formations, alignments is kind of like eating that bowl of cereal. You're not really sitting there thinking about, eating, lifting the spoon up to your mouth and chewing and all that kind of stuff. It just naturally happens. So for me, it's working on understanding the formations, so it's super quick, understanding where the alignments the receiver should be. And then you start to pick up certain things against certain coverages and how guys run certain routes. And, it's, like I said, it's going to be a process.
We love a breakfast analogy. It suits our show very well, Mr. Wilson. Schrags will take me back to soggy waffles in 2016. We have Shaun O'Hara, who talks about pancakes. And here we have breakfast cereal and the rookie, Zach Wilson. We talked about him a lot this week, about how he might be the biggest sports star in New York City. I don't see it happening unless they win a Super Bowl this year. I'm tempering my expectations a little bit. James, I ask you, what kind of impact can Zach Wilson make in year one?
Okay, I'm playing the long game here a little bit, right? I want to analyze this entire season because I think what he does this year has a lot to do with this upcoming off season after 2021, and will it give them hope in 2022? He took every single first team rep at OTAs yesterday. He is going to play and start for this team all season long, but it was successful if at the end of the season, they look back and say there was no question they made the right choice picking him at number 2, that he plays well enough to give them legitimate hope that they've turned the corner, that he makes some wow throws that we know he's capable of doing, that he keeps them in some games, maybe comes back in some games, even if he doesn't come all the way back and win it, that he finds ways to maybe make them competitive in a game they shouldn't be. When you talk to people around the league, they'll tell you players pick this high, they go out and find ways to win a game that you shouldn't have won. Even if they don't win it his rookie year, I want him to come out and do some of those things and limit the turnovers. We know turnovers will happen for rookie quarterbacks. I want to say he makes a mistake, but does he correct it? And the next interception is maybe off of something different, Shregs, right? He didn't make the same mistakes twice. That's the big part that I want to see. And I think if he does all of that, I think there'll be a lot of hope with the Jets going into 2022 that they made the right choice and that this is the leader of their team. We saw Joe Burrow do that very quickly in Cincinnati. Peter, I'd love to see him take that leadership role very quickly with the Jets as well.
Yeah, and James, you're right. Look, there's going to be some serious growing pains with this Jets team. You got to realize how young they are. He's a 21-year-old starting quarterback who hasn't faced a Power 5 opponent in over 20 months. Then you've got Mike LaFleur, a 35-year-old first-time play caller, first-time offensive coordinator, rebuilding an entire offense. And their leading receivers are, Mims, who's 22, and Elijah Moore, who's 21, and Becton is the tackle at 21. Like, they're the youngest team in the league on offense, so there are going to be growing pains. That said, the Jets have been a dormant franchise for nearly a decade. I'd say they had that 1 year with Todd Bowles and Ryan Fitzpatrick where they were relevant, but they didn't make the playoffs. Since Rex and Sanchez, this team has not mattered in the New York market. We've tried to gin up interest about them. We've tried to talk about them. But the goal for the Jets should be what the New York Knicks are doing right now, and that's waking up a fan base. Waking up a fan base in the number one media market in the world and making the team relevant. I was at the Knicks game the other night, and I can talk all about the celebrities and all that stuff. None of that mattered. It was about the fans. The fans were so into it that when they showed a tweet on the big screen of LeBron James tweeting, "Looks like the Garden is rocking," the place went absolutely bonkers. Why? They felt seen. Knicks fans felt seen. Like, yes, wait, LeBron's watching us for the first time? Like, that's going to be the Jets fans. If this team under Zach Wilson starts showing a little bit of positivity and some cool highlight plays and start building, and the rest of the NFL recognizes, acknowledges, watches, and ultimately fears playing the New York Jets in that building, that's going to be the ultimate impact. So to me, it's waking up a franchise and its fans that have been asleep for years. And look, I've said it a lot of times on this show. When the Jets are winning and the Jets are rolling, there is no more passionate, more fervent fan base in the entire NFL. And in this market, which has been devoid of a football team that has mattered in December and January for so many years, I think that could be the impact. And just having him on the field can at least elicit some positivity, some vibes, and some optimism. I'm excited for the Jets. I don't know how many games they're going to win, but I know there's going to be some reason to watch.
Peter, I love that you're going with the woke culture early this AM. I'm with you, man. I think the impact on the field is TBD. But when you look at the personality that Zach Wilson has already brought to the Jets, look, during the season, we heard all kinds of banter about, man, we want Trevor Lawrence. Like the Jets were upset when they beat the Rams and when they beat the Raiders because they wanted the number one pick. And I'll tell you what, I think the Jets fans right now, if you ask them, they might actually be more happy and even more ecstatic with Zach Wilson because he does have that personality. He does have a little bravado. And you know what? I think Jets fans like that. They are excited to see him perform. But I think right now, with even just a little answers, you talked about his youth. You know, look, I thought it was very interesting that when he wanted to talk about and describe doing something without having to think about it, his first instinct was to go to cereal. I mean, that's how young this kid is. He's still eating Captain Crunch berries for breakfast. And I'm glad he doesn't have to think about chewing and putting the spoon to his mouth. I feel like when he talks, I hear a different kind of quarterback than the Jets have had at the helm in a long time. I feel like he's got recall already. The fact that he's talking about route concepts against different coverages already. Look, by age, he's a kid, but mentally as a quarterback, he sounds much wiser than his years. So I think no doubt about it, the biggest thing for him on the field is going to be taking care of the football. I think as young as this team is, he doesn't need to feel like he's got to be the hero. He doesn't need to try to break Peyton Manning's interception record, which I know Peyton is rooting for him or Trevor Lawrence to do. But for Zach, it's take care of the football, get the ball out quick. I've got some receivers that are dangerous after the catch. Just let me just hand out cereal to all my boys and let them go to work.
At GMFB with your thoughts. I mean, yeah, there's a reason we're hearing comparisons to Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying he'll be that, but I'm saying he'll make throws. We saw it in college. He'll make throws that a lot of other guys won't even attempt to make. It might lead to turnovers, as James said, but I mean, it'll go one or two ways.